Hello and welcome to Squabble, a noisy quarrel about something petty or trivial. I'm Carter.
And I'm Jacob.
And today's episode is something that has been debated for a very long time now, ever since its
Conception.
release. Yeah, ever since its conception and release into the world. And that topic is
the GIF or the GIF.
Yeah, GIF. GIF or GIF. Which is it?
I know.
I do. I know too. Or I'm pretty sure. I think. This might not even be an opinion thing. This might be a fact. Somebody might be wrong here.
Yeah.
It might be us and it might be you.
Except today is a little bit different because we're actually both on the same side of this one.
Yes, we agree, and I'm very passionate about this. I'm extreme. This is one of my topics that, I don't get frustrated a lot or irritated when I'm arguing or debating with somebody. But when it comes to this subject, oh man, I can get pretty heated.
See, I'm not like that with this one. This one doesn't get me as much, but I definitely have an opinion. So
so there is a website, okay?
And it claims to know exactly how this word is pronounced.
This website is called How to Really Pronounce GIF.com. That's what the site is called. And
very pretentious.
Yeah, it lists out a bunch of points about how you should pronounce GIF, and I'm pretty sure that they think it should be pronounced GIF. That's what they're saying.
And they're completely wrong.
These people have started a website and said it's pronounced GIF, and here's why. And they have some good points, but we're going to go through and debunk them. We are going to
prove them wrong.
Yep, exactly.
You want to go ahead?
Let me first explain for everyone who doesn't know what a GIF or GIF is. I'm like short of breath for some reason. Oh yeah. By the way, we the podcast is going to get way better soon. We ordered some pop guards, so every time we say the word,
so you know how when we say pop, you hear that?
You can really hear the pop in the word pop, basically, and you can hear us breathe.
We don't want that.
That's just kind of annoying for viewers, or listeners. Even for me, it's kind of annoying. We ordered some of those. Those will come in. They were supposed to get here yesterday, but I'm not.
Walmart.
You weren't supposed to say they might want to sponsor us. And Walmart is an idiot. I put free 2-day shipping,
I thought you
and
said
they
you didn't
emailed
want
me
to
and
say
was
that.
like, they were like, well, actually, the 2-day shipping. Sorry, it's actually going to be a week shipping, 7-day shipping. I was like, it was free 2-day shipping, and it's not going to get here for 2 weeks. Yeah. Anyway,
I still
suck
like
it, Walmart.
It's Wally World. Say that, and then nobody will know what we're talking about.
I'm kidding, Walmart. I know there's problems. If you want to, sponsor us one day, that'd be great. Love you, Wally World. Anyway,
Walmart is the superior grocery store.
Anyway, what was I saying?
Compared to all others,
it is superior.
Maybe that can be the next episode: Target versus Walmart. I call Walmart. Yeah. What about Costco?
Shush. That's not the topic today. The topic is GIF or GIF, and a GIF is a graphic interchange format. That's what it stands for, graphic interchange format. It is a moving picture. It's like a little video, but it's only, I don't know, I think the max is 30 seconds, and then it just keeps repeating.
I think you probably could make them for as long as you wanted, but they're typically very short.
You can post them on Facebook, Twitter. You can send them in text. Recently, Instagram. And you probably know what they are now that I'm saying all that. And if you didn't know, there's an argument, GIF or GIF. Let's get into this. Here's the website.
Why don't you go ahead and read the introduction?
Yeah, I'll read the introduction to the website. Introduction. Throughout history, there have been numerous hotly debated topics. That's true. Even more so in the case today. We'll debate about almost anything. That's true. But I don't think there's a segment of the population that debates issues so intensely as the web design and development community. I am in the web design community. Don't get me wrong, we certainly have some great debates about important topics.
True.
But whoa, do we argue over some ridiculous stuff too.
First off, I'd like to point out, this isn't ridiculous. This is serious stuff.
This is serious stuff.
This is the internet.
If you are watching and laughing, stop laughing.
Stop.
Right?
Don't laugh. Gosh, from now on, the next 30 minutes or so, do not laugh.
Look no further than the debate. Look no further than what they're like spelling is wrong. They spelt some stuff wrong. Anyway, the pronunciation of an image format, GIF. Some people even go as far to make it a dedicated website of such things.
Just like them.
Crazy, right? They're making a joke. Anyway, I made this website on how to really pronounce GIF. Okay, so it says I made this website. This is one guy who made this website.
It's pretty nicely made too.
It's a nice website. Anyway, let's get to the point number one.
An idiot.
What is the correct pronunciation? It's the most natural, logical way to pronounce it. That's why when everyone comes across the word for the first time, they use a hard G.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
I thought it was GIF.
So what he's saying here is his point is automatically invalid because he's making an assumption.
Yeah, about everybody, literally everybody.
He's making an assumption.
It's a quote.
That everyone who comes across the word they use. So he's making an assumption, which is automatically an invalid argument, and he's also saying that it's the most natural and logical way.
I don't think so.
I mean, all languages. There's so many rules to every language.
Oh yeah,
you can't really pin down a logical way to pronounce something. So let's
or at least something this up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no really natural or logical way to pronounce something, especially in the English language where there's so many rules and so many exceptions to so many rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So argument number one debunked. Let's move on. How is it the logical pronunciation? Okay, he's expanding. Okay,
good.
Every word that starts with G, then a vowel, then an F is pronounced with a hard G. Okay, for example.
I can't think of any other ones.
Gift, guff, guffle, guffow. I don't even know what that word is. Gift and guff. We'll use those as the examples. Most one-syllable words that start with G have a hard G. Here's a list. Gab, gad, gal, gam, gas. So he lists a bunch of words.
Gin. 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 That's a soft G.
That's actually his second point. What about gin?
Gel.
Gym, geo, and gel. He says gin is not a good counterexample because it's a drink derived from juniper berries. So it's Dutch. He's saying that gin is not a good example because it's not an English word. It's Dutch.
Guarantee you that every one of those other words he listed comes from other languages too. Or at least roots.
Yeah. He's saying that. And then as for the other words, gym, geo, they are abbreviations of larger words. So they are inherited. So they inherited their pronunciation. So gym, short for gymnasium. So, I see that. That's a valid argument, but I have to say that what about exceptions like the word giraffe?
Yeah, exactly.
Starts with a G.
Or he didn't say anything about the word gel, which is on there.
Gelatin. It's short for gelatin.
Oh, never mind.
But also giant.
Giant.
That's a GI, like he said. However, it's pronounced with a soft G.
Yep.
So that's debunked in my opinion.
Another one debunked.
Yeah, just because debunked. Giant and giraffe. Those two words just flat out debunked.
Debunked. That's what you said. Your voice cracked.
I know. I'm like losing my voice a little bit.
Drink
from
some water.
Yelling.
Let's see the next point here.
Does the G in
GIF
GIF stand for a word that has a soft G?
Now this one gets me mad. I said I don't get mad, but this one does.
Yeah,
because I think you're going to say the same thing I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, he's saying no. GIF is an acronym for Graphics Interchange Format. The word graphics does not have a hard G, but that doesn't necessarily influence the pronunciation. Oh, he's countering his own point. That's why JPEG has an acronym for Joint Photographic Experts Group. It's not pronounced JFEG, but rather JPEG. Yeah, so what he's saying is there's a lot of arguments out there and someone will say, well, GIF, the G in GIF stands for graphic, so it should be GIF because there's a hard G in graphics, so it should be a hard G in GIF. That's my GIF.
This is your mocking voice.
Yeah. But I'm not really sure where this guy stands, because he's then debunking his own argument.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
He then says that argument is also, he's debunking that argument because what about the word JPEG? The P in JPEG stands for photographic, but nobody says JFEG.
Also, another example is the word scuba. A lot of people don't know scuba is an acronym.
Scuba is an acronym. The U in scuba stands for underwater.
We don't say scuba.
No one says scuba.
Underwater scuba.
So that debunked.
Debunked again.
Let's see. Why does anyone pronounce GIF with a soft G then?
Because we're superior to you.
Yeah. So he says the creator of the GIF format, Steve Wilhite, or maybe it's Willett. I'm not sure. We'll say Willett. That sounds better. Steve Willett, when deciding on the pronunciation, said he deliberately chose to echo the American peanut butter brand Jif. Okay, I don't know where this guy stands. He's just arguing for our side. Jif, the creator of the Jif said he wants it to be pronounced like the peanut butter Jif. I don't know if he says it here, but the rumor is that when he was developing this format, him and his buddies had this like inside joke about
peanut butter.
About peanut butter. So when they named it Jif and thought it was funny. And
this guy's saying, well, that doesn't count because if the peanut butter brand didn't exist, then he wouldn't have named it that. But it does. So he did name it. Oh,
is that his
Jif.
argument? Did you read on?
If the Jif peanut butter company never existed, he would never have pronounced Jif with a soft G. But it does exist. Therefore,
but it does exist.
It is pronounced
so he does.
Jif.
Yeah. So he's basically, he's basing this argument off of
alternate
a theoretical.
Dimensions.
He's basing this argument off of a theoretical situation, scenario where Jif didn't exist, but Jif, the peanut butter, does exist.
So therefore,
it is pronounced Jif.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if you don't think it should be GIF, or even if you don't think it should be Jif, out of respect to the creator, say Jif. He created it. So shouldn't you respect the guy? I mean, you couldn't have created it. You weren't smart enough to create it.
Yeah,
so
no,
out of pure respect for the creator, I think you should pronounce it Jif, Let's move on a little bit more. This guy's got some terrible arguments. I'm sorry. Are there any valid arguments for pronouncing it Jif?
First of all, he's already given us like 12.
He has. He's debunked like 3 of his own arguments. But he says no. Just no, period.
No.
There are some websites out there that try to convince people.
Oh, wait, he linked one. We got to click on that next.
He did link one that tried to convince people to use a soft G. But they rely solely on the way Steve Willett says it is. So he's saying that.
Why is he discrediting the guy that made this thing in the first place?
He's discrediting the sole creator. That's like if I was like a chef and I created this new type of, I don't know, milkshake or something, and everybody loved it, and they were like, what flavor is this? What do you call this? And I put it on my menu, and I said, I'm going to call it Carter's Magnificent Chocolate Shake. But then some guy comes along, and he starts calling it like Bill's Shake. And I'm like, that's not Bill's. That's not what it's called. It's not called Bill's Shake. It's called It's called Carter's Shake. But everybody starts calling it Bill's Shake. Well, does that make it Bill's?
Yes.
It doesn't make it Bill's, just because the majority of people think. Sometimes the majority of people can be wrong, okay? The majority of people doesn't make anything a fact. That's what you should take out of this.
Okay, move on, because there's a quote down here that...
Okay, yeah.
Whoops.
Let's see. Mr. Willett was given a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2013 Webbies. He used the occasion to mention, again, quote, it's pronounced GIF. That's end quote. That's what he says. In an article in the New York Times, some guy named Bits says sorry. In the New York Times blog Bits, the blog is called Bits, Willett says, quote, the Oxford English Dictionary accepts both pronunciations. They are wrong. It is a soft G, pronounced GIF. End of story. End quote.
There we go.
He's also, and he's like just passionate about this.
He does have another quote on here that.
Not so fast, John Simpson, chief editor of the Oxford English Dictionary, disagrees with Mr.
Well,
Willett.
he didn't invent the GIF. It doesn't matter what the guy that works at Oxford Dictionary does. Yeah, he's got a lot of power over words, but not an invented word of something that somebody else invented. He can't just change the word.
Just because you have an authoritative title doesn't make everything you say true. That's something you can take out of this too. He says, the chief editor of the Oxford Dictionary says, quote, However, the pronunciation with a hard G is now very widespread and readily understood. A coiner effectively loses control of a word once it's out there.
They named it. They don't lose control of it just because a bunch of people decide it's some other thing.
Now, this is the only point that I have a hard time arguing with because it's kind of true to an extent. So say the word selfie, it's in the dictionary now. The word selfie is in the dictionary. Yeah. Whoever said
Which is kind of sad for our culture.
Yeah, whoever said the word selfie, they're not getting paid for this. I mean, because so many people started saying it, it was put into the dictionary as a word. But the guy who originally said selfie, it's not really his word anymore, right? Because everybody took it and put it in the dictionary. Now it's everybody's word, not just that one guy's.
But it's still his because he invented it. He coined the word. Like it says a coiner. If he invented it, this is just like your other argument with the milkshake. If he invented it, then he has all control over. He has the rights to it.
That's true.
If he like said, you said he wasn't getting paid for whatever, but like when it got in the dictionary. But like, let's say he was getting paid, like they paid him, they bought the word so they could put it in the dictionary. Then yeah, that would mean that he doesn't have control over it anymore. So unless that happened, then that guy still has all effective control over the word selfie.
Well,
just like this guy still has all the effective word over GIF.
That guy could not go to court and take the word selfie out of the dictionary. That would be virtually impossible. So he doesn't really have control. Although he has, I think you're mixing up the word, I guess, control with, I don't know, ownership. Authority. Or like, yes, he made the word and it is effectively his creation, but he no longer has control over the word because it was taken by the public. You know what I mean? I think that's what he's trying to point out here.
Well, this guy, I disagree with him. I think we know that by now, but
so this right here is the only effective argument that he's given so far, in my opinion. But if the odds are against him, all of his other arguments are completely against him, and one well-placed point does not discount the other points.
Later down here, he starts throwing shade at the guy that invented the GIF.
Oh, he's throwing shade. Which you read down here or what?
Yeah, the last two.
He says, I'm sure you would agree it's far more likely that these masters of English language understand better than anyone how to pronounce a word.
I would agree. Unless you created a word.
Willett also mentioned that he is annoyed there is still debate over the pronunciation.
Here's the shade.
To be frank, isn't it his own fault for choosing a pronunciation that simply doesn't make sense?
Oh.
So first of all,
we need that GIF of that guy that's like, all the crowd around him like cheering him on.
Or that guy going like this. He like blinks his eyes and looks at you.
Oh yeah, he's like.
There's some pretty popular GIFs out there. Anyway, so what he's saying here is English masters, they know how to pronounce a word, which I agree with that. That's true.
And now this guy's name is Frank, apparently.
However,
to be frank,
that's funny. You're making a joke. So I disagree. This is a word that these English masters have never heard before, right?
Yeah, they are newcomers to it,
and they know the rules. But let me put a but here.
Please don't put a but here. This is a PG podcast.
We're so mature. Let me put a but here.
We've already got one down there.
We got two. Here.
I suppose.
You don't have a butt?
Well, not right where yours is.
That's true. It's pretty close to mine, though.
Okay,
think about that. Our butts are close, Jacob.
Can we move on? Can we please move on now? I'm uncomfortable.
You need a better chair for
I
your
need
butt.
a safe zone.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So the English people, they know how to pronounce the words, the English masters, but that's not really necessarily, well, it is true that they know how to pronounce the words, but what this guy is saying is they understand how to pronounce this word, but that's not actually true because as we just discussed, you have the word giraffe, the word giant that follow the same exact rules.
I'm sure there's many more that are pronounced with a soft G.
There
we're
are
just
many
plebs and don't understand
giraffe and
vocabulary.
giant are just really good examples
Yeah,
here.
because they're common words.
Why don't the English masters say giraffe and giant? Huh? Well, it's because there's certain rules.
Or gelatin.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, they understand all the rules, but I don't think that this one word, just because they decide that this word should be said a certain way, doesn't make it right. Because A, it's a word they've never seen before, and 2, we already established that the English rules can vary depending on the word.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if it's like a made-up word like this one.
Yeah,
that didn't come along until the 90s.
Maybe a little after, but anyway.
Okay, they have. Wow, this guy's serious. He's got merch. This guy has merch.
He does have merch. He's got a GIF stickers,
T-shirt,
he's got a T-shirt
and a newsletter.
I kind of want the T-shirt, but I'm not going to.
It's not available yet.
Oh.
You could leave your email to get it.
I'm not going to leave my email.
Put your email out here publicly. What's your email? Your private email.
His last point. It says,
fine.
No, dude. Put your social security out there.
My social security number is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. However many
You're that
digits
guy?
there are.
You're the guy who has that?
I'm the guy that has that one.
That guy's life must suck. Everyone's using his social security. Anyway.
Probably got.
So what now? He says, now you can go forth and freely pronounce GIF with a hard G, as you naturally would, because you have every right to do so. Now that's true. You do have every right to be wrong. That's what our founding fathers fought for. You have every right to disagree, even if you're wrong. If you feel compelled to honor the pronunciation given by the GIF's creator out of some sense of obligation, that's perfectly fine too. Preach it, brother. Just don't give those who pronounce it correctly a hard time.
Smiley face. Now that is passive aggressive if I've ever seen it.
If you're arguing,
he even put a nose in the smiley face. That's how you make it really passive aggressive. That's a tip.
If you're arguing
over
some sort of text, and if you put a smiley face at the end,
oh yeah, that's it.
You might as well have slapped that guy across the face. That's
for sure, especially if you put a nose in it.
If you put a nose in it, that's like 2 slaps and a roundhouse kick.
That's when you do that slap where you go back and then you come back around and backhand.
Double slap?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? That's what it's called now. That's a good sound effect.
Okay, go back up where it said there was a website for the GIF, for the soft G.
Yeah, I have some notes here as well.
Oh, you have some notes?
Yeah, so let me go across mine in case we missed something. Let's see. I said, grammatically, it's pronounced GIF is what I put. So here is the G coming after a vowel rule. The hard G pronunciation of the letter G comes when A, O, or U follows it. Examples, gas, good, or guy. We pronounce G's as a soft G when I, E, or Y follow it. Giraffe, German, or analogy. There are exceptions, of course, but in general practice, the G in GIF is followed by an I, so it's GIF.
Yep.
So in general practice, these masters of English, that's not true. In general practice, it's GIF. You research it for yourself. This is just general
this is true.
English knowledge that you learn in high school.
Maybe before that.
I also have another point that he didn't touch on in the website. G in graphics is a hard G. However, let's see. Does the G in GIF stand for a word that has a soft G? No. GIF is an acronym for graphics interchange format. The word graphics does have a hard G, but that doesn't influence the pronunciation.
He did. He touched on this.
Yeah, he did touch on this. So like when it becomes a so the word GIF is an acronym, but when you put it together and say it as a word, when you say the acronym as a word, so if we were to say GIF all the time, like, oh, nice GIF, or oh, that's a funny GIF.
SCUBA.
Then that would make sense.
SCUBA diving.
But we don't, because we say it as if it's just a word, GIF.
It applies to the same rules.
Yeah, the same rules
Obligations.
of the English rules apply to it. So, and the English rules say it's a GIF. So yeah, let's go to this website that.
First off, this guy's got a beautiful website. I gotta say,
this guy's a nice guy. I think I'd be friends with this guy.
He has a GIF in his website about GIFs.
That's true. He does. It's a stupid GIF. It's a wrong GIF, but it's a nice GIF. Here we go. Let's go to this website here.
Oh gosh. Oh, this one is so bad.
I feel bad for my team.
Oh man, this is a terrible website. Oh gosh.
So we just went to the GIF website, the GIF pronunciation page. I'm not even going to tell you what the website is called because it just looks bad. Why? Oh man, this is bad.
This is terrible.
Let's see. Here we go. Ooh.
I don't even know where to start. Let's just close
the pronunciation
it. Forget about
of GIF. Period. The end. That's final. End of story. You disagree?
This guy's potential too.
Hey, I'm just quoting the inventors of the format. Here's the evidence, and he lists some evidence.
Yep.
CompuServe used. That's a company. CompuServe, whatever. Used to distribute a graphics display program called CompuShow. In the documentation for version 8.33 in the FAQ section, it states, we actually have official documentation that it's called a GIF.
Boy.
Oh my goodness. So let me go over this again because this basically debunks all other arguments.
Yeah,
this isn't the ultimate argument for why it's a GIF.
This is like the website that GIFs originated from and in the frequently asked questions.
So what he's saying is that the GIF, the graphics display program called CompuShow, in the documentation, in the FAQ section, it states the GIF, parentheses, graphics interchange format, in parentheses, pronounced GIF, pronounced quotations JIF, in quotations, was designed by CompuServe and the official specification released in June of 1987.
There you go. In the official recordings
this is
what this is.
Copyright, pretty much.
Yeah, they pretty much copyrighted the pronunciation of GIF.
This right here is the official declaration of that it's pronounced GIF.
The Declaration of GIF Dependence.
Yeah, our founding fathers.
CompuServe, our founding fathers.
So I can't really. There's absolutely no way you can argue with the official documentation, right? Unless this documentation was, I don't know what's. I didn't expect to find such documentations. I didn't prepare for this.
We didn't do our research well enough.
What are the qualifications for an official document to be
trusted
or disbanded?
Oh,
because they can say it's like if I was arguing against
it's
somebody,
from 1983 or 1987. So I
would expect them to say, well, that documentation is so old, it's totally outdated, and like.
So are you?
Oh, you're calling them old? That's just mean.
I don't know.
So I don't know. Is that so? It was 1987. So is it outdated?
I would say no because it was still invented by that thing. I mean, it was.
I would say no as well. Is the Declaration of Independence outdated?
I mean, some people probably would say
some
it
people
is.
actually do say it is. So that's a bad example.
But those people are wrong. I believe.
Is that the next? Is that the next debate?
No, that's not really a squabble. That's more of a argument.
Yeah. So I would say no. I say this is just hard facts.
Yeah, I mean,
you cannot.
Who knew this would be so easy?
Yeah, I was not. I was expecting like a hard debate, but this is just a hard fact right here.
Yeah.
So let's see if there's anything else here.
He's got some meme videos.
He says they're straight from the inventors of the format. Convinced yet? Question mark. Good. The image below is an example GIF that came from CompuShow.
It's not moving.
Yeah, it's not moving. It's a picture of CompuShow's author, Bob Berry.
That guy's got style. Just look up Bob Berry.
No, I'm not going to do that. He used some of the then new features of the GIF 89 format to display text on top of graphics. One of the lines he entered in the text states...
Oh my gosh, this was in the testing for what the GIF even was.
The very first GIF was a
picture with words on it.
Was a picture of words on it.
And you want to know what the word said?
The word said...
Hit me up.
Oh, incidentally, it's pronounced GIF.
Everybody's minds just exploded right there.
The very first GIF in the world said on it. It was just words on a words
picture.
on a picture that said it's pronounced GIF.
It's pronounced GIF.
How do you argue with that, Jacob?
If that's you don't. Hopefully, I hope everybody that's watching this was like, it just gives up.
Yeah, if
There's no argument against that.
I genuinely don't know.
Yeah. You just have to be ignorant at that point.
Yeah, that's just a flat out.
If the first
that
GIF
debunks
ever,
all other arguments.
this is like a new religion out of GIFs. Like the GIF religion, like the beginning of it was just like, this is it.
Yeah, GIFism.
GIFism. I would convert.
I do though. Like if somebody, I mean, we can't think of everything. You know, sometimes
speak for yourself.
Sometimes we're wrong. You know, we could be right now. There might be a very valid argument that
probably is,
that
honestly.
you GIF people are thinking of right now that we can't think of, that we're not thinking of right now, and we just can't think of it. You know, that happens sometimes. So let us know in the comments below. That rhymed. But yeah. I cannot.
Yeah, so far we are doing really
GIF.
good at our job.
It's a GIF.
Of convincing
he then
people.
says, "Convinced yet?"
Again, another convinced yet.
Convinced yet? Can you say that? Convinced yet?
Convinced yet? I think everybody could say that.
Look,
yes.
He even lists the code. Okay, in the code, he lists the code, and it says in the code it's pronounced GIF. He then says the graphics file formats FAQ states the following: choosy programmers choose GIF or GIF ? The pronunciation of GIF is specified in the GIF specification to be GIF, as in Jiffy, rather than GIF, which most people seem to prefer. This does not seem strange because the G is from the word graphics and not graphics. While they were creating the GIF, they knew people were going to pronounce this wrong.
They were like, you know what? Let's just get it out of the way and put it in the frequently asked questions section that this is how it's pronounced. Yeah. For all you ignorant
While they were
people
making
out there.
it, they anticipated the wrongness of people. And so in the FAQ,
they were like, you know what? Let's just get it all out of the way.
Yeah, they were like, look, this is how it's pronounced.
We don't care what you think. This is correct.
He then says, convinced yet?
How many times is he going to say, convinced yet? Convinced yet? Make a GIF of us doing this. Convinced yet?
Yeah, we can't hear it. There's no sound in GIF, so you got to do some sort of movement. Convinced yet? Anyway,
you have to put it down at the bottom right here.
They can't see what movements we're doing, so
we just kind of bobbed our heads a little bit.
He then says, a graphics format known as PNG is being pushed by its creators as the next big thing.
Ping.
Among its list of features is its ambiguous pronunciation. How do you pronounce PNG? Here's part of its documentation. No detail was too small for consideration in the author's quest for a near-perfect image format. Yea, verily, even in the acronym and pronunciation were major topics of discussion. PNG is always spelled PNG or Portable Networks Graphics, and always pronounced ping.
What else are you gonna?
You pronounce PNG ping. I didn't. I just always said PNG.
Yeah, I knew it was ping.
Okay, here's another
say
thing.
Pung? I mean, I don't.
Well, no, he says that people often say pinge.
Pinge. Hey, how are we going to save this file, Bob? Oh, we put it under a pinge. Make it a pinge.
You heard it here first, folks. Pinge. In the creation of the PNG, in the FAQ, they said it's not pronounced pinge.
This seems like a publicity stunt. I don't know. I feel like they were wanted to get in on the bandwagon of GIF or GIF, so they were like, "How about pinge or ping?"
He then says it's also not pronounced PNG.
That's how I pronounced it, PNG.
So I guess this is like a trend. So like when you're creating a new format, you got to let people know how it's pronounced.
Also, from now on, let's all call PNG. Wait, what is it?
PNG.
PNG. No, what was the one before that?
Oh, pinge.
Pinge. We're all going to start calling it pinge.
Yeah, and he says it's also not pronounced with any other multi-syllable disaster. PNG. See the introduction to the PNG specifications for the definite statement on the matter.
And look at the very bottom. What does it say?
Convinced yet?
Convinced yet?
He says say it. His last point is NetBits, a weekly e-publication that provided practical internet information, asked its readers in issue 002 to supply information that could solve the GIF pronunciation debate.
Give it to me.
They followed
Let
up
me know.
in issue 003 with this. It's a GIF, and I don't want to hear another word.
Wow.
Logic may dictate that G in GIF graphic interchange format is pronounced hard, like gift or some of the words they use. Gefilte fish?
Gefilte fish. I don't know.
Gefilte fish? What is a gefilte fish? Please let us know.
Google it.
But that didn't stop dozens and dozens of readers from offering opinions, many of them hilarious. Let's see.
Hilarious.
However, several people wrote to say that they either worked with folks at CompuServe or read the original GIF specifications, all of which specified a soft G. None of us at NetBits understand why we haven't seen the definitive word before. So here it is. Charlie Reading writes, I don't know who this guy is, but this is what he writes.
Charlie Reading, of course.
I worked with, this is Charlie talking. I worked with the creator of GIF when I was still employed by CompuServe. Steve always pronounced it GIF and would correct those who pronounced it with a hard G. Choosy developers choose GIF.
There you have it.
That's it. Apparently, he was spinning off a historically popular peanut butter commercial.
If you don't trust Charlie,
who are you going to trust? Okay. He then says, if you want to make a difference in this pronunciation, I guess I'm like a terrible. See, I can't pronounce words, and I'm trying to defend the word GIF.
Conundrum.
Let's see. If you want to make a difference in this pronunciation conundrum, print this piece of NetBits out and send it to the person who writes your local newspapers. Okay, guys, go to this site, www.olsenhome.com/GIF and print out this page and send it to your local newspaper, everybody.
Want to know how he ends it all?
Wait. Convinced yet? Yeah, that's what he says. So yeah, wow. I think this was very successful.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I've changed my own mind, and I wasn't even on the side of GIF.
It's virtually impossible to deny that it's a GIF.
Oh yeah.
Even after the one thing you should take away right here, none of the other arguments mattered because literally in the very first GIF that was ever made,
it literally said, "It's
pronounced GIF."
Convinced yet?
Convinced yet?
Convinced yet?
So I think that's all we have today. I hope your mind's changed. I hope you learned something new. Well, I don't know. Hope your mind's changed. I hope you just learned something new. You know, if you don't want to change your mind, you have the freedom to do that, but you're probably wrong in this case. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Squabble Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, because it really helps us out. You can also listen on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Thanks again.
And we'll snap you later. Snap you later, baby. Man, my voice hurts.